Today we're going to be talking about the Lab Wizard, which is part of Omniview version 2.5. To start the client, we're going to click the Start button and we're going to click Start Client. Now you can see that the program is loading. Now that it's loaded, we will go to the security button and we will sign in. I'm going to be signing in with a factory user called GWI. During commissioning, engineers on site can set up additional users with user level privileges. Now that we're logged in, I click the Analyzer button. And I need to lock the analyzer. This is to ensure that I have control over the analyzer. This is an important feature for facilities that have set up our multi-user, remote user functionality. Now I can open up the Lab Wizard. Users with engineer or higher level privileges can click the plus button here to create new dataset collections. Users without the engineering level privileges can select a pre-configured dataset or collection procedure. In this first example here, you can see that channel 3 has been selected. We have the ability to export files, CSV files, to this folder location. The base file name will be called Bob Rule. You can see in this calibration file we have Omniview methods. These include calls to unscrambler. And in this case, we only have the RON, RVP, and aromatic models selected. And we have the lab reference values for RON, RVP, and aromatic ready for input. For today's example, we're going to use this other calibration that only has a lab reference value of sample time. So now that we're ready to go, we click the Next button. And we have to accept these configuration settings. Users with engineer or higher level privileges have the ability to adjust the scan range. This is pretty standard, so we can just press Next. Again, we have to accept these values. If you need to perform a zero scan, simply remove your probe from the sample, ensure that it is clean, and click the Perform Zero Scan. Once that's completed, click Next. We're going to accept the current zero. Now that we're ready to collect data, we put our probe into the sample and we click the Perform Scan button. You can see at the top, channel 3 is scanning and the progress bar is filling. Once the progress bar is filled, we'll be asked to input a general sample comment. Use from header 2 as my comment. I press OK. Now we have that reference value that we set up initially called sample time. And I'm going to pick the date time value for it. If this was, for example, the reference value called RON, we would enter a floating point number. Now we hit OK. And you can see here are the 3 predicted values corresponding to RON, E200, and E300. And here's the sample reference value for every single one of them, which is my date time. Okay, now that the scan is completed, we're going to click the Export Scans button. It'll prompt you to make sure that we want to use our row-wise CSV, and we're going to output the file to the desktop, and we click Yes, and we can see that the file has been created. And if we minimize the software, you can see the file is located right there on your desktop. If we open that file inside of Excel, we can see how the data is laid out. And down here at the bottom is our wavelengths and our absorbance values. And if we go all the way to the end of this, we can see the RON, E300, E200, and the sample time. Thank you for watching this video on how to use the Lab Wizard as part of Omniview process software. If you have additional questions, please contact Guided Wave Support. Thank you.